तं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखावितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। Okay, Tapas Prabhu, can you see the screen? Yes, to back it to the screen, but yes, please, thank you.
Stop eating that first. I'm still with Mukunda.
Okay, can you see the screen, Prabhu? Tapas Prabhu? Okay. Alright, so please, Hare Krishna. Please silence, please. We request, please, to maintain little silence so that we can speak and others can hear. Thank you, and you can also hear. So, I'm very happy that all of you are here today. It's a nice association of devotees. So today we are going to discuss about authentic leadership that is inspired by Vedic principles. You know, many times it happens that we say, what is the use of these scriptures? How is it beneficial for us in today's context, today's lifestyle, and professional life or personal life? So we are going to present how it is relevant in the world of leadership. And you require leaders everywhere, whether it's job, whether you are working at Amazon or Microsoft or PayPal, or whether you are a householder, you have children, you have family members. So everywhere you require leadership, as well as self-leadership, right? So it starts with yourself, then family, then society, and to the country as well. So these principles which we are going to share are inspired from Ramayana, Mahabharata and our scriptures. How they exemplify the characters which lead a life full of honesty, integrity, and a leadership style which is followed till now, thousands of years, after they have come to this planet Earth and depicted their lifestyle to us. So I'm very happy to share with me my friend Kunal. He is going to speak today. So he has worked in Meta, which is Facebook, and Microsoft. He was an engineering manager, and I think he has around more than 15 years of experience.
Yes.
So, but before that, I would also like to introduce myself. So, I'm Gaurav. I'm currently working for PayPal, and I like reading scriptures, and I like to see how it relates to our day-to-day life. How we can use it to make our life more better, more happier, and more successful. Right? Everybody wants to be successful in today's world. So I'll hand over to Kunal. So he will also give a short introduction of himself, and then we'll continue. Kunal, over to
So
you.
can you guys hear me from this microphone? So it's a pleasure to see so many faces out here. Like Gaurav said, we would like to give you some insight into what leadership could be and how it is inspired from the Vedic principles. So like Gaurav mentioned, I have roughly close to 20 years of experience in the software industry. I've worked with Microsoft for roughly 14 years and then with Meta for another 3 years. An IC as well as an engineering manager. And before I begin the slides, I wanted to check with you all, right? When you think of authentic leadership or leadership, what are the names of some people that come to your mind? I would love to make this an interactive session, so if you guys could share some thoughts. Any people that come to your mind?
In the present world, Modi is the best leader.
Modi, that's very good. Anyone else?
Priyanka, Abhinav, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. Both very good leaders. Anyone else? Sundar Pichai.
Priyanka was for Amazon.
Oh, nice. Andy Jassy probably. No, but these are. I'm sorry. Did I any other names before I heard something in the background or maybe.
Tapas Prabhu, was it you?
Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, that's a good one as well.
Okay.
So
I think he wants you to use microphone because this sound is better.
the sound is better. Okay, so I will use the microphone.
So those are all really good leader names that you mentioned, ranging from Modi, Steve Jobs, Sundar Pichai, and even Mahatma Gandhi. So now I want you guys to keep that in mind, and let's move on. And we will come back. We will circle back to what qualities these leaders present. So in my mind, from my experience, when you think of authentic leaders, they would tend to put people first. And you see out there I have 3 arrows showing people, mission, and results. And the few traits they will demonstrate is putting people first. I think for some reason the screen went off. I don't know what happened there. Please give us a minute.
Oh yeah, it's turning back.
So it looks like there was a power glitch, but we'll restart.
Okay. Yeah, it's sharing. No, it's sharing.
Okay.
Tapas Prabhu, what is sharing? Is it the slide or something else? Tapas Prabhu. Oh, yeah.
Alright, so we continue. Thanks, Gaurav, for fixing that. So I'm actually going to go deeper into these three areas: people, mission, and results. Um, and these three things are probably the pillars that make up an authentic leader. And to elaborate more, I'm going to go to the next slide. We have a little Mukunda who's also our tech guy out here. Thank you, Mukunda, for fixing things. So, so what does putting people first mean? And is it really, why is it needed for a leader? I want to ask some questions like, can you get anything achieved today, any initiative, if people are not with you? No, right? What happens if you have a great vision, great execution, but no people supporting you? Things fall flat. And so putting people first is one of the most important things that a authentic can bring to the table, which is building trust, empowering people, inspiring them, and investing them for the long term. And I'll give you a personal example of what I mean by this. Something that I encountered at Meta about a couple of years ago. So I had an engineer, a senior engineer on my team, I use first names, Chris, who had a family issue. His wife was undergoing some trouble, eye trouble, and at a very young age she developed cataract and glaucoma. And so now Chris came to me, very high performing engineer, but he comes to me, he's like, Kunal, I need to take a couple of months off to take care of my wife. She needs to have a surgery, we might need to go back to our home country. And so the leaders could have a couple of things, right? I mean, Chris was probably 33% of my team's capacity at that time, because I had 3 people working on an initiative. So losing that would mean I was going to lose 33% of my capacity. But at that time, I trusted him, he being a strong engineer, he requiring his family's. My principle was like, family comes first, everything later. And at that point, he took 2 months off, and he didn't have to worry about anything during that time. So the operation went well, the surgery went well. Now when Chris comes back, he was performing automatically without me saying anything at twice his potential. And so those 2 months that may have lost, like for a leader they might say like, I lost 2 months of an initiative, but when he came, he had doubled, and he delivered probably much more than what he would have in a regular 6-month thing. This is a personal experience that I wanted to share with you guys. I'll hand over to Gaurav now, because he's going to talk a little bit more about how this plays in the scriptures. Actually, there's some quotes as well that I wanted you guys to look at. You could take a quick look at it and read it.
Can you see at the back what is written? You can probably read it.
Yeah, so
Gaurav, but that light should be on also. The
This
one
one?
over your head.
Okay, yeah.
And you can turn this one off.
Okay. So Steve Jobs says it doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so that they can tell us what to do.
correct.
So
Satya said that listening was one of the most important things that he learned as a leader, and that was the foundation for his leadership.
Indira Nooyi, PepsiCo, right?
Yes,
He
that's
says
it.
leadership is hard to define and good leadership even harder. But if you can get people to follow you, you are a great leader.
Yeah. And as you see Bill Gates, as we look ahead into the next century, leaders are those who empower. So they're not the people who put them first or their initiatives first, but leaders are those people who are actually going ahead and empowering other people to do their best.
So now you'll see from the scriptures how this leadership principle is so important. So as Kunal was mentioning, in today's world there is a lot of hate and discrimination, right? People try to discriminate on the basis of their caste, their creed, their color, whether you are from India or America or Russia or Japan, people try to discriminate you. Or even, you know, you are black, white or yellow or green, you know, based on your color, there is still so much discrimination and hate. But Bhagavad Gita is giving this leadership principle, which if you apply in your team, in your personal life, in your family life, in your professional life, you will be very successful. And it is based on this divine force, the sacredness of life that is within all of us. Right? You should respect each and every living entity. Forget about human beings. It goes to respect even the dogs, the elephants. A learned person, a great leader, what he does is, he sees with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. So this is a beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gavi hastini shuni chaiva sopakecha pandita samadarshina. So that is a great leader. That is a truly learned person. If you are trying to discriminate, oh, this person is good, this is bad, this is from this category, that category, is from north, is from south, or east or west, how can you be a good leader? You have to bring out the best, see the potential in everybody, and bring out the best in them. Thanks. Thanks, Gaurav.
There's another slide that you have over here.
Yeah, one of the leaders of is Lord Ramachandra, right? So Lord Ramachandra, what he would do is, he would actually, as a king, open his court to meet all the citizens or whoever requires his attention, from a sweeper to a minister. He wouldn't say, oh, you are a sweeper, I don't want to meet you, I'll only meet the minister. No. He'll discuss their problems, solve them, because he saw everyone equally. He saw that part and parcel of that divine consciousness, that life force within everybody. He respected that. Because all of us are soul, which is part and parcel of the super soul of Krishna, of Ram. Right? We have that spark, just like sun and sun ray. A sun ray is a spark of the sun. So one sun ray doesn't tell another sun ray, I am better than you. You know, or I should get more respect than you, and and try to put other down. No. How will the sun feel? Sun won't feel happy, because God is our Param Pita. He wants to see all the children together. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Sarve Sukhayam Bhavantu. Let everybody be happy.
Thanks, Gaurav.
And one other story, beautiful story, comes in Mahabharata. How many of you have seen Mahabharata? At least V.R. Chopra, Mahabharata, right? All the train used to stop and there was curfew in the city and Mahabharata would be there, right? We used to watch when we were children. So Mahabharata, can anyone remember this episode? Can anyone guess what's happening here?
Krishna tries to. He has taken the war.
Can you close the door? Can you close the door?
He will not use the weapon in the war, but Bhishma
Yes.
enforces that I will break the war.
The reason you are able to tell this because your name is Krishna Murthy.
Yeah, I remember thinking.
So he's Krishna Murthy. I just moved to San Diego. So yes, you are right. So this is when Bhishma Pitama, he's such a powerful personality. He was about to defeat Arjuna, the greatest devotee and friend of Krishna. But Krishna, who is so Bhaktavatsal, he's such a great leader that he takes care of all his citizens, all his friends and everybody, that he broke his vow. As we know, Krishna took a vow that either, he will give his whole army to Duryodhan, or he will be on one side. So Arjuna took him, and Krishna said, I will not fight. Right? That is the vow he took. But to save Arjuna, because he was about to die, he took off the wheel of the chariot and charged toward Bhishma, just like a tiger charges towards an elephant. Right? And therefore, Krishna tells that, O son of Kunti, which is Arjuna, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. He said, you are my devotee, declare to everybody that you will not perish. I will take care of you. So Krishna is such a leader that in times of crisis, in times of difficulty, which is when the leader is required the most. There are so many leaders which come to you when times are very good, when things are going on, right? They will show their face, take all the appreciation and praises. But when there is challenges, they run away. But Krishna is there. Like Kunal was telling, the teammate was facing difficult situations, so he stood up. Right? So similarly, we have to stand up for our dependents in these situations to be a good leader. So Krishna is depicting this leadership quality. here.
Thanks, Gaurav. And I think the takeaway for this subsection about people is that a lot of leaders today, they get direction from their leadership that I want results, I want value, I want more monetary value in the corporate world, right? But for the leader, when that is getting that request, they're not going to succeed unless they have people with them. And for that, building the trust, building the connections, genuinely investing in them, protecting them, caring for them, coaching them, is what's really going to set the foundation for what comes next in leadership. So I go to the next slide here. And this is about mission. So we finished people, which is one of the foundational pieces of leadership. But mission is not just a close second, I would say it's almost like another foundational pillar that makes up a leader. And I think I have a few steps out here, but like Gaurav just mentioned right now, a leader, when things are going well, what is the job of a leader? Is there any job that a leader really has to play when things are going well? I mean, things are hunky-dory, things are going well. I mean, not much to do, right? But when there's uncertainty, a crisis, that's when a leader really needs to step up. Because that's the point where everyone are confused. People are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to take this team forward. And leader is who steps up at that time, defines a vision for the team, shows them a future. Like, hey, this is where we are going. This is the vision. We need to go there. Assigns everyone a purpose so that they know what they need to go after. A mission that makes everyone feel connected to what they are pursuing. And then rallies everyone behind the cause. So you'll see there are three simple steps out here with the mission, which is stepping up during uncertainty, clarifying what we are trying to achieve, which is the vision and the mission, and then motivating people to get there. I'm going to show you guys a simple picture out there, and I want to make this interactive. What do you guys see when you look at this ship?
Yeah, this is sinking ship, it's in an extreme situation.
Sinking ship, yes, extreme situation. What else? Trying to sail through the tides, the really big tides. Anything else? Do you guys see something? Do you guys see some people climbing out there?
Yeah.
What does that depict in your mind? Anyone can say?
They're trying to escape the crisis.
They are trying to escape the crisis, probably save themselves.
They're trying to relieve the sails.
That could be another way to view it.
Jump the ship.
But yeah, like for the purpose of this discussion, most likely they're trying to escape the situation. Where is the captain of the ship? Do you see him or her? Where is the captain?
In his cabin.
In his cabin. Right? I think this is what is really a very interesting picture. I think what it depicts is there was an uncertainty, a crisis, and the captain's nowhere to be found. What is everyone going to do at such times? They're going to be for themselves. I'm like, hey, I need to save myself. There is no unity. No one knows what they're doing. Everyone's climbing poles, probably trying to get to the highest point of the ship so that the last wave catches them. But what would a real leader do? Before I get to that, do you know, I want to ask a question. Does anyone know how does a ship get through a storm? What is the thing that a ship needs to do in order to get through a storm?
Just stay there till the storm passes.
Maybe that's one thing.
It has to ride the wave, which means that the front end of the ship should always be up.
Front end should be, I think you're on the right path. So if you read what a ship needs to do is, it needs to take its bow into the biggest wave. It needs to go into that wave and cut through it. Because if a wave hits the ship sideways, the ship is going to topple. So the main mission of everyone is to make sure the ship's front, the bow of the ship, is towards the biggest wave that's coming to the ship. That is the way a ship can get through a storm. Now, it's not always possible, there are lots of waves coming. But if a ship does that sufficient number of times, there's a good chance the ship might get out. And who's going to do that if everyone's just climbing around? Like if the captain doesn't give the instructions to everyone that we need to move the ship someplace, the ship is just going to float around, a wave might come from the side and topple it. So I just wanted to share this. And Gaurav, did you have something to say? Or
Leave it on this slide.
leave it in the slide? Okay. And now I think Gaurav is going to add some more.
You can finish.
Yeah, but I wanted to share this because this really talks about situations when a leader needs to step up and get their crew together and move in the right direction. And if a good captain at such times would rally everyone, if he had the trust of people, he would be like, hey, we're going to get through this. The first step is like, we're going to get through this, showing them the vision. Then telling everyone like, hey, let's make sure the bow of the ship is towards this way or this way. That's where the winds are coming from. Let's go into that and then get through it. But that would only be possible if a leader steps up during uncertainty and assigns a mission to everyone so that they work as a unit. Thanks, Gaurav. Do you want to take it forward?
Yeah. So this principle of leadership in terms of mission and clarity is depicted by Lord Ram and Krishna. You know? So apparently there may be so many questions. We may feel, oh, why is Krishna dancing with so many gopis? Why did Lord Ramachandra banish his wife? Right? It looks like apparently that their mission is not clear, their vision is not clear, they are confused, they are doing wrong things. But do we know why they did what they did? We do not know. Right? If we read the scriptures, we read the Bhagavad Purana, it describes about the gopis. These are the sages of Dandakaranya forest, you know, in Ramayana. And why did Lord Ram banish Sita? There are so many reasons for that. So, if we do not understand anything, we question the leader, we do not understand, we will not be able to follow. But these are the leaders who have clear vision, and through their example, they have exemplified how to lead life in these difficult situations. And through their example, they have told that a teacher is so important, their guru is so important, like Kunal was saying that the captain is missing. So Krishna, although he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, he accepted his guru as Sandipani Muni. Lord Ramachandra accepted Vashisht Muni. He is giving an example that in your life you need a guru, you need a teacher in every sphere of life, wherever we are, right? In our companies, we hire people, there are mentors, there are buddies, right? Wherever you go, you learn music, you need a music teacher, so we need someone. So that is an example that for a mission, we need to have someone who will give us clarity, we can have a discussion, who thinks beyond what we can think. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, I want to share a beautiful verse which says that a spiritual master, a guru, is the captain of the boat. And the human body, which can award all benefit in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is very rare achievement. The human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat. So this body is considered like a boat. Having the spiritual master as the captain and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling on its course. So all these instructions we have, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the Puranas, Vedas, these are like the winds which are pushing the boat, this human body towards its goal. Right? And spiritual master is giving the direction, just like a GPS. When you come to a temple, you put some address, right? If you take a wrong exit, it will recalculate and tell you where to go. Each one of us have missed the exits in life, right? It doesn't mean that we should just stand there and say, oh, I missed the exit, I shouldn't go there. It means we should recalibrate and go ahead. In life, yes, there may be failures, there may be challenges, there are difficulties, but we have to go beyond that and keep our goal focused. We have to keep moving towards our goal. And the scripture says that considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize this human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. Yes, we are in this life, we are taking care of our families, we are doing our jobs and everything, but what is the real purpose of our life? We should ask that question. That is the first question. Why am I here? Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Who am I? What is the purpose of my life? So all those questions are very important to be asked. Badrinath Maharaj was telling one day that, yes, we all do jobs, we go to Walmart, get our grocery. Even that is difficult in today's life, right? But beyond that, yes, Why are we here? We should ask that question. That is the beginning point of spirituality. And one beautiful example from Mahabharata is that Arjuna lost the vision or the mission. What should I do in life? He just put Gandiva bow, hairs were standing on his hand, he was crying, he didn't know what to do. Right? And he says to Krishna, Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava prichhamyam dharma sammud cheta Yachreyasyanischitam bruhi tanme shishyaste aham shadimam tvam prapannam. Oh my Lord, I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am a disciple and a soul surrendered to you. Please instruct me. So through this example, Arjuna is actually representing all of us. Prabhupada mentions in the Bhagavad Gita that we are in the same situation as Arjuna. Every day we are facing challenges. So he's surrendering to Krishna and listening to the instructions of Krishna to get more clarity what to do next. So that is a true leader. So Krishna spoke the entire Bhagavad Gita. Right? Even after speaking, Krishna did not say that, oh, you should follow this. He said, Karishye vachanam tava. Now whatever you think is right, you should do. He still gave that free will and independence to Arjuna. That is a true leader.
Thanks, Gaurav, for tying that so well in the vision and the mission thing. And this just kind of really gratifies like why the vision and the mission is so important for a lost engineer or lost individual contributor or lost soul like all of us in our lives. So let's move on to the final thing. Now, everyone's looking for results in the corporate world. Your CEO is looking for results, your investors are looking for results. Everyone's like, where are the results? How is the stock market? How is your stock going? Where is the revenue coming from? But I want to re-emphasize that if a leader does not focus on the people and does not focus on the mission or the vision, there are not going to be any results. And that's why results, although that's the expectation from the leader, that is one of the last things that the leader should focus on from the perspective of people first, vision second, mission second, and then results will follow. But even getting results is not easy, right? Because you could still have people with you, you could have a good vision, but results are not coming. And for that, one of the most important things is execution and the ability to churn the crank wheel. Constantly invest, prioritize, and execute. And what does this mean, right? It means that if you have a plan which is good, you just don't sit back and say like, hey, I have a great plan, everything should fall in place. It's not true. Are there any folks out here who experienced like a situation where you had a great plan, but since the execution was not good, timelines kept missing, deadlines were missed, and we didn't really have a product? Does anyone have an experience to share like that? Where everything was good, people were good, mission was good, but execution did not happen and something fell through.
Maybe Rajesh.
No? I think someone, were you raising your hand?
Well, I have plenty of examples, but I'd be embarrassed to share them, to be honest. Let's just say, for purposes saving face here, that there were plans, there were people, and it was other people who messed it up. So I'll just leave it at that.
Exactly.
Call it you guys. What to do, right?
And the other people thing happens a lot in corporates, right? It was other people who messed it up. I'm not saying it happens, truly it happens, but a true leader, again, I do want to emphasize on this. In true leadership, there is no other people and our people. It's very interesting, I think, and this is something that will come up where taking ownership of the problem at heart as a whole and executing through the problem, even if it was caused by other people, is something that is is truly going to elevate a leader because they're going to work with their partners, not blame them. Finger pointing sometimes is very easy to, just get away from like, hey, I did my part. You could say that, but a true leader would step up and say like, hey, I did my part, but maybe I can do more. Maybe I can convince my partner or understand why they aren't doing their part. And that execution actually plays a role in that as well, to work through your partners to really get the outcome.
It's okay, right? You don't want that.
But what may have happened in that situation is the other people did not have a good plan and it fell apart. Things fell apart. So thanks for sharing that example. And I'm going to go forward now to hand it over to Gaurav.
Yeah, so while we were talking about the results, it is very important that the leader always exemplifies himself till the end of the task that has been assigned or it is executed. So this is a very beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita which talks about such leaders. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So very famous verse, Yat yat acharati shreshthas tattat evitaro jana, sa yat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. So it might happen that leader is, there in the beginning of the task that it has started and, he just doesn't follow up in between or doesn't takes it by heart. No, to get good results, a leader is always active. He's always leading by example with his honesty, with his integrity, with his character. There are a lot of leaders who will speak, you should do like this, you should do like that. But what will happen? He will not exemplify them or she will not exemplify them, right? They will do something else in their character. So today's world, the biggest need is for exemplary people who lead by their character. There are three very important things. One is character, another is health, and third is wealth. So nowadays, generally what should be there? First should be character, then health, and then wealth. But nowadays, in Kali Yuga, everything is reversed. Now people put wealth on top. Health is still there. Everybody is careful about their health, and character is at the bottom. Nobody cares for character. I just want to earn, and with greed, with selfish greed, with arrogance, and trying to hurt others. Don't care about other people. No value of character. So that is a leader. By his example, he will lead. And since Kunal talked about the results, so we can see the war of Mahabharata, the war of Ramayana, both of them started with leadership which was honest and full of integrity. Krishna went to Duryodhana as a peacemaker. He said, we do not want to fight, these are Kshatriya people, just give them 5 villages. But what did Duryodhana say? Duryodhana said, I will not give enough land that can fit the tip of a needle. That's really rude, right? So at the end what happened? Krishna and Arjuna, who had smaller army than Duryodhana. Krishna had either Narayani Sena, which was 7 Akshauhini, and Duryodhana had 11 Akshauhini. He had bigger Sena. But the soldiers of Arjuna's army were very much inspired, very much enthused because they knew we are fighting for Dharma. And finally, there is victory of Dharma. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that I come to establish religion. Wherever there is Dharma, there is victory. Where there is piousness, there is happiness. That is there. And then also in Ramayana, we see what did Ravan do? Ravan was such a great, Brahmin. He was so learned. He had everything. He had such a chaste wife, Mandodari. He had a palace made of gold. He had everything that we can actually imagine to attain in our lives. And his brother Kumbhakarna, he said, hey, my dear brother, why did you kidnap somebody else's wife without fighting? You have cheated Lord Ram. You have deceived him. If you are a true warrior, you should have fought and got Sita, but you cheated him. And he said, but since I am your brother, I will help you. So he basically happily insulted him. And And we know in the end what happened. All the Vanar Sena, although Vanars don't have like big javelins or bow and arrow and all these things, these monkeys they just throw the stones or fight with their claws. But they were so enthused because they were on the side of righteousness. They were on the side of religion. They were on the side of dharma, of truth, integrity. And they were fighting with so much vigor that they killed all the Rakshas Sena of Ravana. And Ravana didn't care about his people. As the Rakshas were dying, what he used to do is he used to throw them all into the ocean, so that other soldiers do not get demotivated that so many of our friends are dying. But Lord Ram didn't do that. He said, we are going to do proper rites, last rites, rituals for them. We are not going to mistreat them. And he had medicine and everything, so people were recovering and all those things. So this is a true leader. So at the end we see the result here is, if you are starting on the right path, starting from people, mission, then you are victorious. So similarly Krishna says in the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, so you can chant with me. I'll say one line, you can repeat. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhuti, Dhruva Niti Matir Mama. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yatra Yogeshwara is Krishna. Wherever there is Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara. Wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, Tatra Shri Vijaya Bhuti, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. All of us want this, right? We want opulence, we want victory, we want power and morality. So if Krishna is with us, we will get all of them. That is my opinion. This Sanjay is saying, the Bhagavad Gita, when he is seeing his vision and telling to Dhritarashtra. So that is the truth. It is depicted in all the scriptures, and Srila Prabhupada has actually exemplified it. He started from India with just 40 rupees on a cargo ship. He reached America in 35 days. Right? But he established 108 temples, which were worth 40 crore rupees in 12 years. It is all by the grace of Krishna, by the power of chanting of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and his sincerity and love for Krishna. That so many people, even in Western world, took up to the Krishna consciousness movement. Just by chanting, eating prasadam, reading the books, worshipping the deities, Sri Radha Giridhari. So that is true leadership. That is the result of focusing on these principles.
Thank you, Gaurav, for tying both Ramayana and Mahabharata so well in this. Now, I'd like to conclude again with the three principles we started that makes a true, authentic leader. People, mission, and results. In that order. Make sure you have the people, the trust of the people, you're investing in people. Make sure you have a clear vision and mission, and then rally the people behind that, and the results will follow. So, at the beginning, before we started, I had asked a question to everyone, which is like, what are the good, few names you can think of for leaders, of true, authentic leaders? And I got a few names. One was, I think, can you remind me what the names were? Of the leaders?
Somebody said Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs,
MS
Modi,
Modi.
MS Dhoni. I think we heard
APJ
Abdul Kalam. Now, when you think of these leaders again, do you think they had people with them? Do you think they had the support of people, the trust of people? Yes, they did, right? They were people's leaders. They were all. If you look at them, look at Modi, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs had a great vision, but he also had people with him. But Modi, all of
Krishna and Ram, you can also think about that.
Krishna and Ram, of course. Think of Ramayana and Mahabharata. They were strong leaders for people, right? And that's what started the support of people, the mission, and the results that followed. So, thank you everyone, and I wanted to kind of open it up for some questions. Me and Gaurav would be happy to take any questions.
I also want to think of Srila Prabhupada as the leader who established, so many centers with Govinda's restaurants for prasadam and farm communities and educational institutes. So he's also a great leader who depicted so many followers he had, so many people who appreciated him.
Yeah.
We are very grateful and take advantage of these temples, these programs, and make our life successful, to ourselves become true leaders, right? With their leadership principles.
Cool. Any questions about the talk, about anything, like about leadership in general? Any problems you all have encountered that you want to chat about?
What did you like in the session? Which area did you like? Yeah.
Can I just, because I don't want this to slip out of my mind, so I'll just quickly jump.
Take the
in.
mic.
Yeah.
Take over the mic.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I would like to just bring this into the foreground, the fact that there was a very high divine element with Prabhupada, which we should greatly emulate for in our own course of leadership. The reason why I'm saying this is Prabhupada, actually there was a magic in him. Like when he was on the boat, he had this heart attacks. It didn't matter to him at all. It was not his 40 rupees that really, because the people are like around the world in $8 and things like that. People have proved it without so much of Krishna's presence. Whereas him, with the 2 heart attacks, anything, nothing, okay, fine, today I have a heart attack, tomorrow I'll just get up, sit in the boat again, and then be happy, go there to America and do my job. This is the course of true leadership if you are in the Vaishnava order. Do not forget that Krishna is there, and in our hearts if we have Krishna, because ours is a very small force, a strength and as a soul force, whereas Krishna is Paramatma and he is such a big force, he's sitting on top. The more faith we have, the more impetus it gives us to push forward and accomplish our goals. And no matter how small or how big it is in life that our goals are, because each one of us comes with some predestined goals, I believe, as a soul contract with Krishna himself. And therefore, with his support and guidance, we will definitely be able to accomplish whatever that we set out for. Particularly, if we remember Prabhupada as our guide and guru, I am pretty sure we will be able to do whatever our soul contract is and finish our job. And the bewilderment as to why am I here, what is life, and things like that will really not bother us anymore. Most people will have those questions, and it is very important. Atato Brahma Jignasa is the first Brahma Sutra. So we will be able to do that with Krishna. That's it.
Thank you.
Nothing more.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Anyone else?
Thank you,
I,
Mataji.
I,
Anyone else wants to
It was
speak?
great. Thank you so much.
If not, then we'll move to next part of Prashadam. So now we'll have Prashad. And 8:15 there is a Aarti, a Darshan Aarti, and then there would be Kirtan. Not Darshan Aarti, last Shayan Aarti. And then, so now we'll have Prashadam.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I want you to comment on the
Yeah.
you talked about righteousness.
Yeah.
In this day and age, how do you know righteousness? It's so great.
There's another question
Yeah.
about righteousness. Yeah. Gaurav, do you want to answer that?
And 8:15 because there is Darshan. Yeah, so what is the question?
The question was, in this day and age,
In this day and age, how do you identify righteousness? It's so great.
yeah.
I mean, without the guidance of
Can you give
spiritual
example?
master, like, any day-to-day life, you come across or, human situations, and people are right in their own ways, but you don't get to decide, what's the true course of righteousness.
No, I was just telling Keisha to be quiet. But it's, why don't you have an answer for
Yeah.
the problem?
So, yeah, I know it is very difficult nowadays because whatever is right from the scriptural point of view, today people think it is wrong. And whatever is wrong from scriptures is considered right today, right? So there is a big confusion. And in life, therefore, what happens is that things that are significant, we take them as insignificant. Right, and we do not invest that time and energy on that. And what are insignificant, we spend so much time on that we forget what is significant for us. So the basic principle is, like you said, we should have a captain, right? Like someone, if we do not have a guru, then we can have Siksha Guru. We can have someone whom we trust, whom we have faith, we can discuss with them openly. And secondly, we read the scriptures, we hear from Krishna. Krishna is the Param Guru, right? So we read Bhagavad Gita, we hear Krishna's instruction, and then we analyze it, discuss with like-minded people. And because Bhagavad Gita has answers to all the questions, our scriptures have answers to all the questions. And yes, how we apply it in today's life, we have to talk with seniors, people who are living life following those principles, how to apply that, right? Because if we just read it, yes, you may understand, but it's always good to discuss. So 3 things you can do: Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. 3 things.
Even identifying the right spiritual master.
Huh?
Even identifying the right spiritual master.
Even us, yeah, exactly. Even that.
Those qualities are discussed in Nectar Devotion.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. Here is the place, you should come here, Saturday, Sunday, Kirtan's programs. And I know Prabhu serves very nicely on Sundays in the kitchen, Abhi Prabhu. Definitely Krishna will guide him and you will show him the right path.
So he asked the question now, I want to.
Yeah, sure.
Figure out how to phrase this. Focus tends to be on the Brahminical class, right? But in the past, the Kshatriyas were, advised by the Brahminical class. So at what point, how do we develop strong leaders, pious, Kshatriya, class devotees, with the intention to, support, be supported by the Brahminical class? How does that work in our modern, movement? I haven't really heard much discussion on the Kshatriya class and how that is to be incorporated within, the Krishna consciousness movement. Because Prabhupada stated as we're trying to develop young men and women into the Brahminical class. So how does that fit in with the Kshatriya class?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the example that whether we are Kshatriya, Brahman, Vaishya, Shudra, right? We are Krishna's servant. That is our true constitutional position. That is the Swadharma. Right? So whoever we are, whatever job occupation we are doing, if we continue to do that, at the same time we remember Krishna, then our life is successful. So in Krishna consciousness movement also, if you see, there were a lot of Kshatriyas also, like people are in administrative class, right? They are in politics and so many other places. So yeah, if they are devotees, then their life is successful. So it depends on your interest, what your interest is. Right? So Prabhupada is mentioning Brahminical thing because it's one of the highest levels, but it doesn't mean that one thing is lower than the other, right? So even a Kshatriya or a Shudra, if by quality they can serve Krishna, they can take initiation first, second, they can go to altar and they can become Brahmins, right? So it's by the qualities, it's not by the birth or by any other criteria. So yeah,
So what does the training look like? Is there differences between the training of the Brahminical class and the Kshatriya class, even though we're both, generally speaking, we all come and worship in the same manner, and
right? So
provide seva in the same manner and stuff like that.
If you go to Ayurvedic conference, they will talk about Ayurveda. They won't talk about allopathy, right? So similarly, this institution is about Bhakti Yoga. So we'll always talk about Bhakti or Brahminical culture. But that doesn't mean that other, ashrams or varnas are not relevant or not important. You can still be a Kshatriya and become a Brahmin. So whoever is providing, there are different institutes which provide Kshatriya training, right? So someone can do the training there and at the same time we are Brahmins.
Can you provide an example of these institutions?
Yeah, like Bhishma. He was Gangaputra, right? He was Brahman, but he was a great warrior. He was a Kshatriya. And so many kings in the past, like Parikshit Maharaj, they were like called Raj Rishis. They were Raja, they were kings, at the same time they were Rishis. They had spiritual knowledge as well as they were expert in warfare, in archery, artillery, and so many different skills. Arjuna, Right? So, yeah, they were Kshatriyas, but he was a devotee of Krishna. Pandavas, these are Kshatriyas only. You know, such a great big example in Mahabharata.
And Krishna was also a Kshatriya.
Wow.
Krishna was Yadav from Yadu Vansh. Yeah, so he was from the Moon dynasty, which is Krishna Chandra. So, I mean, Krishna is born in a family of Yadus. Yadus basically they have cows, you know, and so yeah, that is more of a not a Kshatriya. It was more of a, I would say, Vaishya family.
But he was still born in the Devaki Vasudeva, they are Kshatriyas.
They are Kshatriyas, yeah.
But he was
They,
brought up as a Yadava.
yeah, but God is beyond all these categorizations, right?
He
He
chose
is beyond all these varnas and ashrams, or aloof of this mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. These things cannot touch Krishna. Krishna is transcendental.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Alright, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Really appreciate the great wisdom that you have given us.
Thank you for sharing your comments also.
I am simply sad that a lot of people did not come here to hear this because they are all working in corporate world and they will greatly benefit being leaders. You know, so many Indians are leaders. I mean, ISKCON is open for everybody, but even Indians have, because they are pushed through the leadership strata, they should really learn a little more. Because, I mean, I'm aging, that's why I can probably can push the envelope and say it,
Yes, Prabhu.
No, but you don't have to, no mic needed, no mic needed. That got me, what you said got me thinking, is it possible that YouTube Prabhus would do this again for like a Sunday feast, Sunday feast lecture?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that would definitely reach more people.
yeah. We would
Because and the good thing, I don't know if this is being recorded.
Yeah, this is being recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you see, one of the shlokas about the leaders. Yeah, this Bhagavad Gita, they say it's a Gudya, a Rajagudyam. It's so true. 100 times I've read so many shlokas, I did not even notice that one powerful shloka of leadership is there about what the leaders are, the nature of the leadership. I mean, when you highlighted that, oh my God, it is true, it is there. You know, of ordinary leadership of humans. It's not God's leadership, Krishna's leadership. It's the human leadership.
Correct.
He has brought into foreground.
I'm glad all of you liked it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your efforts and very nice questions that you had. So, thanks a lot. Hare Krishna.
We are going to open the curtain for darshan.
Yeah, they will open at 8:15.
Yeah. 3 minutes.
3 minutes, that's it. Yeah, thank you for taking courage.
Tapas Prabhu, is it okay? We can unshare now.
Usually the program start around 6 o'clock. Yeah. Saturday and Sunday they have programs. During the weekdays also they have. You can do at Eastern Temple of San Diego website, and then they have the program schedule on their website.
Okay.
Thursday they have Krishna Lounge over there. This weekend they have discussion and then people over there. The afternoon is good. Right here.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
The Thursday evening they have that.
So that's where usually I usually come Thursdays or Tuesdays.
Oh, I think you're good on Tuesdays. I
Tuesday. Well, I was on and then afterwards,
So they cook on Tuesdays. They cook, but when you go to the Sunday feast is a large number of people. Large number of people come for Sunday.
I've never been on a Sunday.
Sunday evening, 6 o'clock they start. Even before they start, at 6 o'clock they start Pravajan. And if the feast is around, it's 7:15 or something, they have a servo feast every 6 years. It's like India. Today I came because of this leadership discussion. This one, so I just wanted to listen to that.
Yeah, I didn't
When
know.
you work or you go to school?
I
When
work
receptionist? Very nice, very nice. I like that. Very nice, is good.
Yes, fantastic.
Always interacting with good people.
Yes, yeah, you see all types of people.
Right. Seriously?
Because they don't have to know.
Ah,
So they were there.
nice, nice.
Jai.
Advaita